Chapter 589. After Gu Yanhao left, Song Wuyo did not rest. On Maupassant's private plane, she had already rested. She just wanted to be alone for a while. She did not want to face anyone, especially Gu Yanhao. She turned her head and looked out of the window. Outside the window, there was a wide grass field. She saw Huang Ling walking alone on the grass field. Song Wuyo raised her eyebrows, thought for a while, and got out of bed. Huang Ling ran out of the villa. She really wanted to leave this place. But when she ran to the main door, she realized that if she left this place, where could she go? She had no money on her. The identity card she had with her was Huang Ling's. She had slept for so long and did not have a job. That so-called mother had used up all her savings to treat her illness. Moreover, she only had Song Wuyo's memories. She did not have a single memory of Huang Ling. When she was at the hospital, Ade took her back to the manor. She could not remember where she used to live, where she used to work, or who her friends were. She was now called Huang Ling, but she was really Song Wuyo. She did not know anything. Her grades were not good. After marrying Gu Yanhao, she had not worked. Now that she thought about it, Huang Ling felt that she was someone who had been abandoned and eliminated by the world. What made her heart ache even more was that she was a woman who had been abandoned by the man she loved. With nowhere else to go, she could only return. She walked like a zombie on the wide grassland. None of the servants paid any attention to her. She even heard the servants talking happily, thanking the heavens that young madam had come back alive. From their words, it was not difficult for Huang Ling to hear that Song Wuyo was now like a goddess in their hearts. When she was tired from walking, Huang Ling came to a carambola tree and squatted down. She hugged her knees, curled up, and cried softly there. How could this be? Why was her life so full of drama? As she cried, Huang Ling choked up and sang the sad Star's Wish. My heart hurts so much that I can't breathe. I can't find the traces of yesterday. I can only look at you, but I can't do anything. I let you be at the end of the world. I can't find a reason to be strong. I can't feel your gentleness anymore. Tell me where the starry sky is there an end? I'll make a wish to let you know that I love you. After singing it once, she sang it again. She felt that the lyrics suited her current mood. The traces from yesterday could not be found. She could only watch helplessly as Gu Yanhao fell in love with the woman who had taken over her body. In the past, she could still be arrogant to attract his attention. But now, no matter what she did, he would not like her. She couldn't find a reason to be strong, and she would never receive his gentleness again. Only the stars and the moon in the sky knew how deep her love for him was, right? Song Wuyo came behind Huang Ling. Listening to her choking and singing a sad song, watching her body tremble because of crying, her heart ached. Even Song Wuyo, who rarely cried, could not help but have red eyes and wet eyelashes. She stood there and looked at Huang Ling for a long time. Then, she walked over and sat down beside Huang Ling. Huang Ling hugged her knees with both hands and rested her chin on her arms. Her tears wet a large part of her sleeve. Feeling that there was someone beside her, she turned her head and looked at Song Wuyo with teary eyes. Ah! When she saw Song Wuyo's face, her heart suddenly ached, and she could not help but cry out loud. Chapter 590. She cried as she looked at Song Wuyo. The more she looked at Song Wuyo, the more she wanted to cry. Song Wuyo took out a tissue and handed it to her. Huang Ling took it and wiped the tears on her face as she cried. Even so, her gaze never left Song Wuyo's face. She felt that this face was familiar yet strange at the same time. Ah! Ah! Huang Ling cried loudly. Hearing Song Wuyo's words, Song Wuyo's heart felt extremely uncomfortable. It was heavy and bitter, as if there was a huge rock in it. Do you hate me? Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling and asked. If I hate you, will you return my body to me? Huang Ling cried. Song Wuyo laughed. How? Huang Ling tried very hard to stop crying. She hugged her knees and looked at Song Wuyo. Yes, how? Let her die. If she died, this body would only rot. Huang Ling looked at Song Wuyo and said in a choked voice, if Gu Yanhao falls in love, he will be very loyal. Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling deeply. I know. So, he fell in love with her in the past. No matter how arrogant she was, how bad her temper was, or how ugly she dressed, he would marry her. My heart hurts. Huang Ling covered her heart that was hurting so much that she could barely breathe and looked at Song Wuyo. My heart doesn't feel good either. Song Wuyo said. Is it because I'm back? Do you hate me? No. Song Wuyo smiled kindly. I don't hate you. No one knows better than me how deep and firm your love for Gu Yanhao is. When Huang Ling heard this, her tears fell again. She cried, what's the use of you knowing? Gu Yanhao doesn't know. Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling and said, you are still the same as before. A leopard cannot change its spots. Whether I change or not, Gu Yanhao will not like me. I tried to change it for him, but it was useless. Huang Ling said in a heavy and desperate voice. She looked at Song Wuyo and asked, then why do you feel so upset? Shouldn't you flaunt your prowess in front of me now that you've obtained his love? Song Wuyo joked, if you show off in front of a kind girl, you'll get beaten up. Huang Ling pursed her lips, pain written all over her face. However, for some reason, Song Wuyo's words made her feel a little better. Huang Ling looked at Song Wuyo. Although her body used to be hers, she did not have her temperament in the past. Her dress was so beautiful that it was indescribable. She did not have any makeup on her face, but she was as beautiful as a fairy. Her temperament was elegant. Even when she smiled, it was as if the sky had lost its color. She was the only one who had a halo and was the center of attention. Huang Ling thought in despair. They had gone through life and death and were able to come back to life. Even Gu Yanhao marrying her was destined. Since it was destined, no matter how hard she tried, it would be in vain. If the heavens did not want her to have him, why did they want her to wake up? As she thought about it, Huang Ling's heart began to ache again. She moved her body and sat with her back facing Song Wuyo. She cried, when I see you, I feel like my heart is being twisted by a knife. I feel like you took away everything that belongs to me. Even her beautiful figure and looks had been snatched away. Maybe. Song Wuyo's eyes flashed with sadness. Huang Ling sniffed her sore nose and smiled as she cried. Seeing him happy because of you, I didn't sleep for more than 7 months in vain. When I first arrived here, I was very sad to be ignored by him. I was very unfamiliar with this world and was very melancholy. Fortunately, I have your memory. With your memory, I can live freely in this world. I secretly swore to live my life for you. I will love him for you and not let other women take him away. Chapter 591. When Huang Ling heard this, she lifted her red and swollen eyelids. Everyone in M City only knows that you're bad-tempered, arrogant, and classless. You're not fit to be Gu Yanhao's wife. I don't think so. No woman in M City can compare to your love for Gu Yanhao. Even Song Zhuyue could not compare. In this world, there were a lot of handsome men. But a handsome man like Gu Yanhao, who was capable, had status, and was rich, was very rare. If he was not Gu Yanhao, if he was not the CEO of the Gu clan, if he was not the richest man in K country. If he were not like this, how many women would be so eager to win his favor? But Huang Ling's love for Gu Yanhao was different. She really loved him. She did not care about his glamorous side or his wealth. She only loved him as a person. She once thought that one day, Gu Yanhao would love her wholeheartedly and live with her in a small village. Their life would be simple, but they would be happy with their children. During the day, they would farm. At night, they would lie on the wooden bed together and talk about life, their children, and their daily lives. So what? Huang Ling smiled bitterly. He has too many women who like him. There are too many women around him. He compares me to them. No matter what I do, I can't compare to them. Sometimes, love will only hurt people. It will not make people happy. No, it's killing. Sometimes, love can take people's lives. Who said that you can't compare to them? If you can't compare to them, how can you be Mrs. Gu? Huang Ling turned around and looked at Song Wuyo with amusement. Now, Mrs. Gu is you. I'm just Huang Ling, a child from the slums. Huang Ling, when Song Wuyo heard this, her eyes narrowed and her heart tightened slightly. Yes, she was Mrs. Gu now, and she was Huang Ling. Moreover, Gu Yanhao's attitude was very clear. He wanted Mrs. Gu, not Huang Ling. However, when she saw Huang Ling in such pain, her heart ached as well. As if seeing Song Wuyo's dilemma, Huang Ling carelessly wiped her tears and said, "Don't worry, I won't fight with you over Gu Yanhao for the time being." She wouldn't be able to snatch him away from her. It would only make him hate her more and more. Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling with pity. Huang Ling sadly said, "I need time to slowly adapt to all of this." "I'm sorry, Huang Ling." Song Wuyo looked deeply at Huang Ling, paused, and said, "If Gu Yanhao chooses you, I will withdraw. If Gu Yanhao chooses me, I will give him happiness." Huang Ling felt bitter in her heart. Why would Gu Yanhao still choose her? Is the scenery here beautiful? A non-standard K country accent sounded. When she heard this accent, Song Wuyo knew who it was. She raised her head and looked at Maupassant, who was walking over step by step. Huang Ling also turned around and glanced at him. "Song Wuyo, you have to talk to your husband. In any case, I am your savior. That guy didn't even ask me to stay for a cup of tea and asked me to go back." Maupassant complained to Song Wuyo about Gu Yanhao. "Are you thirsty?" Song Wuyo looked at Maupassant and asked. When Maupassant heard this, he frowned and looked at Song Wuyo. "What do you mean? Since you're not thirsty, it doesn't matter if you stay for a cup of water or not. He asked you to go back, so you should go back." TSK, TSK, TSK. Birds of a feather flock together. Maupassant shook his head with an expression of regret. He walked over and stood beside Huang Ling, looking at Huang Ling's red eyes and nose. He asked, "Do you like to cry?" Chapter 592. Huang Ling glanced at him in disdain. What did it have to do with a foreigner like him whether she liked to cry or not? Maupassant looked at her resentful eyes and couldn't help but laugh. "Not only do you like to cry, but you also like to look at me like that." Maupassant was a soldier and rarely saw women cry. It turned out that women could be so cute when they cried, just like kittens. Song Wuyo frowned slightly and looked at Maupassant silently. Huang Ling was already in a bad mood. After being teased by Maupassant, her mood became even worse. She glared at him. "Gu Yanhao asked you to get lost, so get lost." Other than Gu Yanhao, her attitude towards other men was not good. Maupassant raised his eyebrows and looked at Huang Ling with interest. "You're quite cute. Just like a wild kitten." Huang Ling felt that if a man said that she was cute, he must be interested in her. She glanced at Maupassant in disgust. "You're so annoying." After saying that, she got up and strode away. Maupassant looked at her back view and asked Song Wuyo, "Who is she?" Song Wuyo got up slowly and looked at Maupassant. "You're asking about her. Are you interested in her?" Maupassant retracted his gaze and looked at Song Wuyo with a faint smile. He shook his head. "No, the girl I like is in M City." Song Wuyo said bluntly, "Go and find the girl you like then." After saying that, she strode away gracefully. Maupassant looked at her back view and narrowed his eyes slightly. The people in this manor were really strange. At night, Song Wuyo pulled a suitcase out of Gu Yanhao's bedroom. Gu Yanhao had just returned from the study. When he saw Song Wuyo pulling the suitcase out, he walked up quickly and looked at her with raised eyebrows. "Song Wuyo, what are you doing?" Song Wuyo looked at him and said, "I'm moving to another room." Gu Yanhao looked at her gloomily. "Where are you moving to?" "The guest room on the first floor." "Why?" "Ah ho, we can't be too selfish. We have to consider Huang Ling's feelings," Song Wuyo said. Moreover, she was pregnant now. It was better to sleep alone. She needed to rest more now. If she slept in the same bed as him, with his beastly nature, he would definitely need her to help him deal with it. Hearing her words, Gu Yanhao was in a bad mood. His eyes suddenly turned cold as he stared at her. "Are you backing down?" Song Wuyo shook her head. "I'm not giving in. I just don't want to hurt Huang Ling." Huang Ling was a kind person. She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't have to suffer this pain. Song Wuyo only felt that Huang Ling was very pitiful now. A car accident had caused her to fall into a coma. After she fell asleep, her body was taken over, and her identity was taken over. Even the man she loved didn't belong to her anymore. If they were still showing off their love in front of her, it would be too much. Although Huang Ling said that she wouldn't fight with her for Gu Yanhao, she still had to give Huang Ling time to get used to it. "Song Wuyo, this isn't like you. You don't admit defeat at anything." Gu Yanhao looked at Song Wuyo. "I don't admit defeat to anyone or anything. But Huang Ling, I have to consider her feelings." "Who's going to consider my feelings?" "But, you liked her from the beginning, didn't you?" Gu Yanhao was stunned and pursed his lips. "If you don't like her, how will you know when she has her period?" "She will have a stomachache during her period." "If you don't like her, how will you know what she likes to eat and what she doesn't like to eat?" "If you don't like her, how will you know what kind of heels she usually wears?" Chapter 593. If you didn't like her, with your personality, you wouldn't have married her. If you didn't like her, you wouldn't have had such a huge reaction when you heard that I wasn't her. Ah ho, although her figure and appearance have changed, she's still her. Her love for you will only increase. Maybe you don't know how deep this love is, but I know that I can't agitate her in front of her when I know that she loves you so much and can't let you go. Ah ho, she has a part of my heart too. Seeing her sad because of you, my heart doesn't feel good either. Gu Yanhao said coldly, "If you see her smiling happily because of me, will your heart feel better?" Song Wuyo was stunned, not understanding what he meant. She looked at him faintly. "Tell me the truth. If you see me treating her well, will your heart feel better?" Song Wuyo pursed her lips, not knowing how to reply. Of course, it wouldn't feel good. If she said that it wouldn't feel good, he would treat Huang Ling coldly or send her out of the manor. If she said that it would feel good, he would definitely treat Huang Ling well to make her feel better, even if he didn't like Huang Ling anymore. Song Wuyo, love is not about giving in. Gu Yanhao took over her luggage. "I don't like Huang Ling. Even if you're in this world, I won't like her. He looked at her domineeringly. You can only sleep in the same room as me. If you move to the first floor, I'll move to the first floor too. When you were missing, I couldn't sleep at night without you by my side. Now that you're back, if you still don't sleep by my side, I'll break down. When Song Wuyo heard that, her pupils contracted. So, if she slept by his side tonight, he would treat her like a hungry wolf. Song Wuyo was shocked and snatched the luggage over, saying anxiously, "Ah-ho, we can't sleep together because," she was about to say that she was pregnant when she saw a figure standing in the room at the end of the corridor. It was Huang Ling. When Song Wuyo saw her, she swallowed the rest of her words. The sound insulation of the villa was very good. Huang Ling just felt hungry and was about to go downstairs to eat. But when she saw them, she was stunned. Gu Yanhao's back was facing Huang Ling, so he didn't notice her. When he heard Song Wuyo say that they could not sleep together, he was a little angry. He looked at Song Wuyo maliciously. Because of what? Because we have to consider Huang Ling's feelings. Or is it because you want to give me to Huang Ling? Song Wuyo looked up at him quietly. Why was he so angry? Huang Ling's heart clenched when she heard his words. She quietly retreated to her room, but did not close the door. She could still hear what they were saying. You can think whatever you want. Anyway, I want to sleep on the first floor, Song Wuyo said. At this time, she couldn't tell Gu Yanhao about her pregnancy. With his showy personality, if he knew that she was pregnant, he would definitely order Sister Song to cook this and that for her every day. Then, he would treat her 100 times better and worry about her. Perhaps, he would even send her out of the manor because he was afraid that Huang Ling would affect her mood. When Huang Ling left the manor, she would be alone. No one knew better than her how terrible this feeling of melancholy and helplessness was. About the pregnancy, let's talk about it later. Even if she didn't say it, he would be able to tell when she was pregnant. Song Wuyo's attitude made Gu Yanhao's chest burn with anger. He glared at Song Wuyo angrily and said coldly, "If I don't punish you, you will become more and more presumptuous." With that, he clasped Song Wuyo's shoulders with both hands. At the same time, he kicked the troublesome suitcase aside and pulled her into his arms. Then, he bent down and used his thin lips to fiercely block her soft lips. Chapter 594. He loved her, but she wanted to give him to Huang Ling. He was very unhappy. He wanted to punish her. Song Wuyo did not expect him to kiss her suddenly. Moreover, when his lips touched hers, it was as if an electric current ran through her body. Her mind went blank and she was stunned. Gu Yanhao took advantage of the fact that she did not resist and pried open her mouth, forcefully occupying her territory. His warm and soft tongue wantonly stirred around her territory. The punishing nibbling made Song Wuyo feel pain on her lips. It was this pain that pulled her back from her slackened consciousness. She shivered all over. How could he kiss her here? Song Wuyo struggled, but Gu Yanhao did not give her a chance. He clasped the back of her head tightly with one hand and held her waist with the other. Their bodies were inseparable. Song Wuyo was in pain from his nibbling. She turned her head desperately and struggled. The more she struggled, the crazier Gu Yanhao kissed her. He used his actions to tell her that her struggles were useless. He used his actions to tell her that the person he loved was her. Gradually, Song Wuyo, who was struggling, seemed to be robbed of her breath by him. Her body went soft and she stopped struggling. She stopped struggling. Gu Yanhao's kiss became affectionate. He conveyed his thoughts and feelings for her during this period of time to her through kisses. Song Wuyo felt his uneasiness and the excitement of regaining what he had lost. Her heart ached slightly. Huang Ling stood there in a daze. Her eyes were red as she looked ahead, her eyes filled with grief. God was especially unfair to her. He did not belong to her. Why did he let her come back in such a way? For a long time, she did not hear any sound from outside. She thought that they should have entered the house. Moreover, she was so hungry that her limbs were weak. If she did not go down to find something to eat, she would not be able to sleep tonight. Although tonight was destined to be a sleepless night. She opened the door gently. She thought that they had already entered the house. However, when she looked up and saw the scene in front of her, it was as if the sky had suddenly collapsed. His head buzzed, and his face turned as pale as a sheet of paper. They were actually kissing. The scene that she had fantasized about countless times actually did not come true for her. His heart felt as if it was being cut by a knife and pierced by an arrow. The pain made her stagger and she quickly retreated into the room. His body was in so much pain that he couldn't stand, and he fell weakly to the ground. Tears flowed out of her eyes uncontrollably. She didn't know how long they kissed. Gu Yanhao finally let go of Song Wuyo. As soon as she was relieved, Song Wuyo pushed Gu Yanhao away. She glared at him. Are you crazy? Gu Yanhao raised his eyebrows, his eyes blazing like torches. Am I crazy for kissing you? If I did something else, wouldn't I be even crazier? Song Wuyo glanced at Huang Ling's room. The door was not closed. Gu Yanhao noticed her actions. Gu Yanhao's eyes darkened, and there was a flash of anger in them. In his opinion, Song Wuyo did not accept him because she wanted to push him to Huang Ling. Do you want to go to the first floor or here? He asked coldly. When Song Wuyo heard this, she thought that he wanted to do it with her. She quickly said, I'll go to the first floor. You can go to the second floor. When Gu Yanhao heard this, he quickly turned around and entered the house. Bang! He slammed the door shut. Song Wuyo was stunned and looked at the closed door in surprise. This man, Song Wuyo dragged her luggage and walked towards the stairs. She looked up and glanced at Huang Ling's half-closed door. Chapter 595. The next day. Song Wuyo came to the dining room. Gu Yanhao and Ban Jianing were having breakfast. The servant saw her come in and served her the dishes that Sister Song had prepared for her. There was plain porridge, steamed buns, vegetables, and egg custard. As for Gu Yanhao and Ban Jianing, they ate more than her. Song Wuyo sat down and her gaze fell on the breakfast in front of them. Gu Yanhao glanced at her coldly. You can't eat big fish and meat for the time being. Song Wuyo nodded. Oh, she ate the egg custard first, looked up and glanced at Gu Yanhao. Are you going to the company later? Yes. Gu Yanhao seemed to be in a bad mood and ignored Song Wuyo. Last night, he couldn't sleep at all. She, on the other hand, slept like a pig on the first floor. He looked up and glanced at her coldly. Take care of yourself first. The employees of the Song Group are in good condition. During your absence, their performance will only increase. Song Wuyo heard this and joked, then I'd better appear later. Gu Yanhao finished eating, elegantly wiped his mouth with a tissue, and then walked out of the dining room. Ban Jianing pursed his lips and looked at Gu Yanhao's back view unhappily. Then, he looked at Song Wuyo faintly. Sister, brother-in-law is so strange. Song Wuyo smiled and asked, why did Jianing say he was strange? He had a sullen face so early in the morning. He's so cool, so cold. I think he's pretending to be cool. When Song Wuyo heard this, she almost spat out the egg custard that she had just put into her mouth. Ban Jianing looked at her and his eyes flickered. Sister, shall we go to the ranch? Song Wuyo smiled and asked, do you miss Mushin? I miss Mushin, but you're back. Don't you want to tell Migu? He's worried about you. Song Wuyo smiled at Ban Jianing. Alright, we'll be there in a bit. Can I go too? Huang Ling walked in and looked at Song Wuyo. Song Wuyo smiled and said, of course. Brother. Brother. Mushin rushed in excitedly. Migu was wearing a scarf and stewing mutton in the kitchen. Hearing Mu Axian's excited voice, he came out of the kitchen, raised his eyebrows, and looked at her unhappily. What made you so excited? Mu Axian was so excited that her face turned red. Big Sister Wuyo. Big Sister Wuyo is here. Mushin, who was standing in the living room, pointed outside and was so excited that she stuttered. She will be Huang Ling from now on. You have to call her sister Huang Ling instead. No, cough. He was so excited that he choked on his saliva. It's Big Sister Wuyo. Big Sister Wuyo and Big Sister Huang Ling are here together. Big Sister Wuyo is not dead. She's back. What? When Migu heard that, he was shocked and rushed out quickly. That speed was like a gust of wind. When Migu rushed out, he saw Song Wuyo walking toward his small bungalow with Huang Ling. Song Wuyo was wearing a loose knitted purple long sweater, a pair of school uniform pants that were popular recently, and a pair of white shoes. This combination was fashionable and pure. Even Huang Ling secretly admired her for being so good at matching. No wonder she could get Gu Yanhao's true love. It's her. It's really her. The wind in the ranch was stronger, and it messed up her long hair. But even so, she was still as beautiful as a fairy. Migu's heart was extremely excited and beating wildly. His gaze was locked directly on Song Wuyo. It was as if time had stopped at this moment. He didn't even know if he was breathing. It's her. It's really her. Chapter 596. Migu suppressed the ecstasy and excitement in his heart. His tall body stood there stiffly. As Song Wuyo got closer and closer, his heart beat faster and faster. His eyes couldn't help but redden. After Song Wuyo approached him, she stood there and looked at him with a smile. I've made you worry. Song Wuyo laughed, but there was a sour feeling in her heart. You're still coming. Mushin's voice was slightly choked. He walked over and stood in front of Song Wuyo. His eyes were rolling with emotions. His gaze was deeply fixed on Song Wuyo. It's good that you're back. At this moment, thousands of words couldn't express his feelings. Song Wuyo opened her arms and hugged Migu. When she hugged him, Migu was stunned for a moment. Then, his arms tightly clasped her back and hugged her tightly. He swallowed back the tears that overflowed from his eyes. Smelling the fragrance of her hair and feeling her breath, Migu suddenly wanted to cry. Everyone said that men don't cry easily. He wanted to flick away these tears for her now. He didn't know if she would laugh at him. It was Maupassant who saved me. That guy is very naughty. He deliberately hid me and waited for me to fully recover before sending me back to M City. Song Wuyo smiled. When I see him another day, I have to have thanked him properly. Migu sniffed her hair again. Her smell was so good. No matter how much he smelled it, he couldn't get enough of it. But he knew that her smell didn't belong to him. He let go of her and held her shoulders with both hands. He looked her up and down. Seeing that she didn't lose weight, he was relieved. Huang Ling, who was beside them, looked at them quietly. She felt that the way Migu looked at Song Wuyo was very different. Song Wuyo didn't seem to hate him. Since when did their relationship become so good? Huang Ling felt a little uncomfortable. She looked at Song Wuyo. Would she fall in love with Migu? If she fell in love with Magoo, what about Gu Yanhao? Gu Yanhao would definitely be sad. Huang Ling didn't want Gu Yanhao to be sad. Drive, drive. Ban Jianning's voice rang out. He rode Gu Yanhao's white horse to the front of the building. Ban Jianning liked casual wear very much. He also liked beige, white, and light brown. Today, he was wearing a light brown casual outfit and white sports shoes. Riding on horseback, he looked quite handsome and sunny. As soon as he entered the pasture, he could not wait to go riding. Mushin, am I handsome? Ban Jianning looked at Mushin with a silly smile. Handsome. Mushin was in a good mood and gave Ban Jianning a rare good look. Ban Jianning was very happy. After laughing foolishly a few times, he urged his horse to leave. Before leaving, he left a sentence. It turns out that Mushin likes the way I ride a horse. Sister Wuyo. Mushin came forward and hugged Song Wuyo. She looked like she was about to cry. You scared me to death. I thought, silly girl. Song Wuyo hugged Mushin and smiled. Aren't I back now? Brother and I were very sad when you weren't around. We couldn't eat enough and sleep well. Song Wuyo looked at Magoo. They were all wearing aprons and seemed to be cooking. Would they not be full? Until he entered the kitchen, Magoo felt like he was dreaming. She was really back. Was he really not dreaming? Standing in front of the stove and looking at the fire of the stewing mutton, he simply placed his palm on the pot. Ah, it's so hot. Feeling the burning pain, he quickly retracted his hand. His palm was scalded red. Looking at his red palm, he smiled foolishly. I'm not dreaming. She's really back.
Chapter 597. Gu Yanhao was not in the mood to go to work at all. His wife had been missing for almost half a month. Just when he thought that she would never come back, she suddenly came back. He was so excited that he wanted to thank God personally for sending his wife back to his side. However, that woman wanted to sleep in a different room from him. One on the second floor and the other on the first floor. He was very angry. The employees of the Gu clan felt a suffocating pressure the entire morning. Especially the higher-ups who had to interact with the president. All of them were very careful. Ever since the rumor that Song Wuyo had gone missing, they were very careful in front of Gu Yanhao. Today, the president's mood seemed to be even worse. It was finally noon. After work, everyone finally dared to breathe heavily. Gu Yanhao drove back to the manor. Song Wuyo and Ban Jianning were not in the villa. He asked Sister Song and found out that they had gone to the ranch. The ranch? Gu Yanhao's eyes darkened. Damn it. Why didn't they tell him that they were going to the ranch? Gu Yanhao did not even eat lunch. He immediately drove to the ranch. When he arrived at the ranch, it was exactly 4:00 in the afternoon. Song Wuyo, Magoo, Mu Xian, Huang Ling, and Ban Jianning were washing the mutton pot. It tasted very good. When they saw him suddenly appear, they were surprised. Song Wuyo looked at him in surprise. Aren't you working? Gu Yanhao glanced at her coldly and said coolly, I'm the boss. I can't fall in love. Did he eat gunpowder? Song Wuyo deliberately did not talk to him. I want to eat mutton. Gu Yanhao walked over. It was obvious that he wanted to sit next to Song Wuyo. Song Wuyo moved to Mu Xian's side and made room for him. Huang Ling had already added a set of chopsticks for him when he arrived. Gu Yanhao sat down and started eating. Why didn't you tell me that you were coming to the ranch? Gu Yanhao asked coldly. Seeing your indifferent look, I'm too lazy to say anything, Song Wuyo said. Magoo raised his eyebrows and looked at them silently. Are they throwing tantrums? He glanced at Huang Ling. Huang Ling was looking at Gu Yanhao. Magoo thought, could it be because of Huang Ling? Gu Yanhao saw that there was very little lamb in the pot. He glanced at Magoo and asked, is this lamb very small? Magoo, I didn't know you were coming. If I did, I would have killed one. This one was killed half a month ago and has been frozen until now. When Gu Yanhao heard this, he frowned and put down his chopsticks. I'm not eating anymore. What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Huang Ling stood up abruptly. Gu Yanhao glanced at her coldly and said indifferently, I don't want to eat anything. When Huang Ling heard this, she was a little disappointed. She sat back down, but she was not in the mood to eat anymore. There's not much stew this time. Let's have a taste and barbecue later.
Mushin said happily. The butler bought lobsters and big crabs. He's preparing the ingredients for the barbecue. Brother Aho, you can eat the barbecue later. Let's kill the lamb, Gu Yanhao said. Song Wuyo liked to eat roasted lamb skewers. After 6:00 in the evening, they had a barbecue on the rooftop. They sat together around the barbecue rack. The wind was strong at night and it was cold. However, it felt good to eat barbecue again. It was even better to eat barbecue and drink hummus at the same time. As the hummus warmed their bodies, Gu Yanhao poured a bowl for Song Wuyo early in the morning. He roasted the meat for her, but she didn't eat much and didn't drink much. Gu Yanhao looked at her and raised his eyebrows. No appetite. I just ate. I'm not hungry now. Chapter 598. Before the barbecue, she had checked online. Pregnant women could eat barbecue, but the ingredients had to be clean. The mutton was freshly killed. It was fresh and clean, and it was made of pure charcoal. The barbecue meat was especially fragrant. The mutton was smeared with salt, soy sauce, and chili oil. It was clearly delicious barbecue, but why did she have no appetite? Gu Yanhao looked at her. Don't you like barbecue mutton very much? Song Wuyo picked up a piece. I'll eat a little. Huang Ling saw that Gu Yanhao treated Song Wuyo so well. She was both envious and sad. She didn't show these bad emotions. She sat at the side and barbecued quietly. She also liked to eat mutton skewers, but he never ate with her. Now, she could eat fresh mutton skewers, but she didn't have any appetite. She got up and went to get the crabs. She liked to eat crabs. But she had never eaten barbecued crabs before. Song Wuyo looked up at Huang Ling. She could feel Huang Ling's disappointment. She didn't eat anymore. She got up and said to everyone, I'll get the lobster. Song Wuyo walked over. Huang Ling asked, do you want lobster? I'll get it for you. Huang Ling, Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling deeply. Huang Ling knew what she was going to say. She smiled bitterly. You don't have to say it. I understand. Anyway, thank you. Do you want lobster or crab? Huang Ling changed the topic. Lobster. Lobster contained a lot of protein and amino acids. Moreover, lobster didn't contain much fat. It was easy to absorb when eaten. Pregnant women could eat it in moderation so that the fetus could replenish calcium and vitamins. She didn't eat crabs. Crabs were cold. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to take it when she was pregnant. Let me get it for you. Huang Ling carefully took the lobster for Song Wuyo. Ah! She was accidentally caught by the lobster's chelicerae and cried out in pain. Song Wuyo was so shocked that she forgot her manners. She reached out to help Huang Ling take away the lobster. But when she touched Huang Ling's hand, another lobster's chelicerae clamped Song Wuyo's index finger. Ah, it hurts. Song Wuyo also cried out in pain. Wuyo! As soon as Song Wuyo called out, Gu Yanhao rushed to her side. Seeing that the lobster was clamping her hand, he suddenly used his palm to pinch the lobster to death. The caliceri that were clamping Song Wuyo's finger tightly loosened. Song Wuyo's hand was injured. 2 deep droplets of blood came out. Gu Yanhao was very nervous and distressed. He covered her wound and brought her back to her seat. Then, he shouted at Muxin, "Go get the disinfectant." Muxin was shocked by his sudden shout. She quickly got up and went to get the disinfectant. Magoo stood there stiffly. When he heard Song Wuyo's voice, he stood up nervously like Gu Yanhao. However, Gu Yanhao was faster than him. Seeing him rush over, he stopped. He felt bitter in his heart. Her husband is here.
What are you so nervous for? He glanced at Huang Ling and saw that there was also a lobster hanging from Huang Ling's finger. His eyes darkened. He quickly went over and helped her take away that damn lobster. He didn't take away the lobster that was clamping Huang Ling in time. Her wound was deeper. It hurt. It hurt to the heart. She didn't know if it was because the fingers were connected to the heart or because she was ignored by Gu Yanhao. Magoo wrapped her wound with a tissue and said to her gently, "Go back and sit down." Muxin went to get the first aid kit. Huang Ling retracted her gaze from Gu Yanhao. She looked at Magoo with reddened eyes. "Thank you."
Chapter 599. Huang Ling returned to her seat and sat down. Song Wuyo raised her head and looked at the wound that was wrapped in a tissue. The white tissue was soon dyed red with blood. Huang Ling looked at her. Song Wuyo had a complicated look in her eyes while Huang Ling's eyes had a hint of sadness. This sadness made Song Wuyo's heart clench. She turned her head and looked at Gu Yanhao. Gu Yanhao had already sucked out a mouthful of blood from her finger and spat it out. She was very happy that he cared about her and cared about her. However, in front of Huang Ling, he only had eyes for her. She felt very apologetic. Mu Axian quickly rushed up with the medicine box. Because she was in such a hurry, she was panting from running. Ban Jianing looked at her with a pained expression. After she handed the medicine box to Gu Yanhao and Gu Yanhao treated Song Wuyo's wound, she returned to her seat and sat down. "Mu Axian, I've roasted the meat for you." Ban Jianing brought the roasted mutton over to Mu Axian as if he was trying to please her. Mu Axian glanced at the meat and said while panting, "I want to eat lobsters. Don't leave a single one of them behind. Eat them all. Let's see if they still dare to be arrogant and hurt people." Ban Jianing chuckled, got up, and went to get the lobsters. Mu Axian looked at him in annoyance. "Be careful. Don't be silly and get hurt." Gu Yanhao helped Song Wuyo treat her wound while Magoo helped Huang Ling treat it. After disinfecting, cotton was applied and the wound was wrapped with a band-aid. Song Wuyo had no appetite. Coupled with the pain in her hand, she did not eat and went back to her room to rest. Magoo had limited rooms, so the couple shared a room. Gu Yanhao returned to the room and looked at Song Wuyo sneakily. "Tonight, I want to hug you to sleep." Song Wuyo had already showered. She sat on the bed and looked deeply at Gu Yanhao. "Ah ho, let's talk, okay?" Gu Yanhao frowned. He could roughly guess what was going on and asked, "What do you want to talk about? Are the two of us and Huang Ling going to be together like this forever?" Song Wuyo looked at him. Gu Yanhao's expression was indifferent. "Otherwise, how are we going to get along? Both Huang Ling and I won't feel good about this." Gu Yanhao looked at her sharply. "What do I have to do to make you feel better? Do you have 2 wives? When Song Wuyo heard this, a hint of surprise flashed across her eyes. Of course, that was not what she meant. She wanted him to communicate with Huang Ling properly. But Gu Yanhao did not think this way. When she came back, she wanted to sleep separately from him. Now she wanted him to be together with Huang Ling. Gu Yanhao was very angry. He looked at Song Wuyo coldly and said with some ridicule, "Song Wuyo, you were an imperial concubine in the past and lived in the palace for 3 years. You can take in concubines for the man you love. But I'm not an emperor, so I don't need to sleep with a few women. What you can accept doesn't mean that I can also accept it. Please don't push me to Huang Ling, don't tell me that she has the original owner's memories. In my heart, she is only Huang Ling, not Song Wuyo. You are. Or, you never loved me. Your passion for me is only because my face looks like Dongfang Xian. You think of me like this." Song Wuyo found it funny. Otherwise, when you came back and found out about Huang Ling's existence, would you be anxious to sleep separately from me? Are you thinking that now that Huang Ling has appeared, you don't have to be perfunctory with me anymore? When Song Wuyo heard this, her heart slightly clenched. She looked at Gu Yanhao in astonishment. "I'm being perfunctory with you. If you're not being perfunctory with me, then you're treating me as Dongfang Xian. Even if I treat you as Dongfang Xian, I'm not being perfunctory. I'm being sincere." Chapter 600. Song Wuyo bit her lower lip, feeling a little sad. He actually thought of her like that. Did he always think that her love for him was just a perfunctory one? Seeing that she did not respond, Gu Yanhao thought that her love for him was just a perfunctory one. Moreover, she said that she did not have any memories left by the original owner of the body, only the Axe dynasty. So, how could the person she loved and missed be him? It's very late. You should rest first. After saying that, Gu Yanhao strode out of the room. Song Wuyo looked at him helplessly. He was throwing a tantrum again. Gu Yanhao came to the rooftop and stood at the edge. In the dark night, he was like the god of the night, straight, tall, and sharp. He was upset. This was the first time in his life that he was so upset. He did not want to drink. He only wanted to smoke. He stood here, smoking one cigarette after another. Huang Ling walked over with light steps. She could not sleep and wanted to go upstairs to feel the cold wind to clear her muddy mind. In the stairwell, she smelled smoke. She thought that it should be him. When she saw his back view, it was indeed him. Tonight's night was very beautiful. There was a bright moon hanging in the sky. The light from the moon sprinkled softly on the ground. "Why aren't you asleep yet?" Gu Yanhao did not turn around, but he knew who it was. Huang Ling came to his side and stood at his level. She tilted her head and glanced at him. Under the soft moonlight, his side profile was very handsome. "Aren't you awake too?" Huang Ling pursed her lips. "Are you feeling terrible?" Gu Yanhao glanced at her. Huang Ling admitted frankly, "Quite terrible. If it was in the past, you would have definitely started a fight." "Fight? Fight? Wuyo?" "Yes." Huang Ling smiled bitterly. "Isn't hitting her the same as hitting me?" Gu Yanhao's heart sank when he heard that. He turned his head and looked at Huang Ling. Huang Ling tried hard not to cry in front of him. She smiled, but it was a forced smile. "Seeing you treat her well is like seeing you treat me well, but I don't know why, but I just feel sad." Gu Yanhao raised his eyebrows. "I've been longing for such a scene since I was 13. I've been fantasizing about it, hoping that one day you'll treat me like this. Now that it has come true, I feel so much pain. My body is clearly mine, but why isn't my heart mine?" "Huang Ling, I'm very sorry," Gu Yanhao said in a deep voice. "Huang Ling." Hearing this name, Huang Ling smiled bitterly. She tried her best to hold back her tears, but her eyes still lit up. From now on, I can only be Huang Ling. Huang Ling raised her head and looked at Gu Yanhao with tears in her eyes. Can you tell me the truth? Did you marry me because you like me? Gu Yanhao looked at her deeply. After a long time, he nodded. Yes. When Huang Ling heard that, she couldn't control her tears anymore. They flowed like a broken dam. You treat her well, but is there an element of being good to me? Gu Yanhao nodded again. Yes. If she doesn't come back, will you like me with this appearance? He said that he would find a plastic surgeon to help her change her appearance back. Gu Yanhao pursed his thin lips. After a long time, he said, the person I love now is Imperial Concubine Song. So, even if I change my appearance back, you won't like me, right? Gu Yanhao was silent. When a man is silent when someone asks, it means that he agrees. Huang Ling's heart ached. She laughed and cried at the same time. Gu Yanhao felt very uncomfortable. Suddenly, Huang Ling wiped her tears with her sleeve and said, Gu Yanhao, don't let her down. You have to treat her well, okay? Especially don't let her get hurt. That body is mine. If I see that you don't protect her well and leave her with a scar, I won't let you off. Chapter 601. Gu Yanhao was deeply shaken by her words. He looked at her and did not say anything for a long time. Huang Ling also cried silently. Suddenly, he raised his heavy arm and touched Huang Ling's head. Huang Ling raised her head and looked at him with tears in her eyes. Gu Yanhao smiled at her. I promise you that I will take good care of her. You also promise me that you will take good care of your body. Huang Ling's throat was sour. Her heart felt as if it was soaked in salty water. But because he was willing to touch her head, a smile appeared on her pretty face. Yes. She nodded. Gu Yanhao rubbed her head, just like how a brother would rub his sister's head. His gaze also became gentle. Huang Ling cried. If only you gave me a gentle look in the past. How good would that be? Gu Yanhao's heart sank. I'm sorry. Huang Ling sniffed until her nose was sore. Her snot was about to flow out. Gu Yanhao retracted his hand and took another puff of the cigarette. You rarely smoke. Did Wuyo make you unhappy? This time, Huang Ling called Wuyo. It was not as awkward as before. No. You're protecting her. Huang Ling, I can give you anything except love. Gu Yanhao looked into her eyes. If you have any difficulties in the future, I will help you. Huang Ling pursed her lips. However, she didn't want anything other than his love. But this was already very extravagant. She could forget about getting it in this life. She smiled at him. In this life, I will perform well. In the next life, I want you to fall in love with me and chase after me all day, shouting and begging me to marry you. Gu Yanhao was amused by her. I hope we will both have a next life. Go back and accompany Wuyo. When a woman is unhappy, she needs to be coaxed. After all, she hasn't been in this world for long, and many of her ideas are different from ours. Don't stay too late. Gu Yanhao extinguished the cigarette, turned around and prepared to leave. Suddenly feeling that something was wrong, he turned around abruptly. He saw that Huang Ling was about to jump down. Shocked, he suddenly reached out and pulled Huang Ling back, yelling at her, "Are you crazy?" It was deafening, and Huang Ling felt pain in her eardrums. Gu Yanhao grabbed her wrist tightly and stared at her angrily. Are you looking for death? If you want to die, jump to a higher place. If you jump from here, you might not die immediately. Maybe you won't die. Huang Ling was instantly frightened by him. In the past, when she tried to kill herself with a knife in front of him, he didn't have any sympathy at all. He even told her to cut deeper so that she would die faster. Huang Ling looked at him faintly. I just want to test if you're tight to me. So, you're still worried about me? Gu Yanhao shook her off and said coldly, I can't just leave you in the lurch, and I don't want you to dirty Migu's farm. He didn't want Song Wuyo to be traumatized either. Alright, don't be angry anymore. If I wanted to jump, I would have jumped long ago. I was just putting on an act just now. I won't jump. Looking at how he was still worried about her, Huang Ling's mood seemed to have cleared up. Gu Yanhao clearly did not believe her words as he looked at her coldly. I've been selfish in the past. I can't be so selfish now. My mom, she has suffered for so long because of me. I have to be filial to her in the future and take care of her when she's old. Huang Ling said. Gu Yanhao took a deep breath. Don't do it again. Huang Ling smiled brightly and strode toward the stairs without saying anything. Chapter 602. In the stairwell on the second floor, she bumped into Song Wuyo and Migu, who had heard the commotion. Seeing Huang Ling, Song Wuyo looked at her worriedly and asked, Huang Ling, are you okay? Huang Ling's eyes were swollen, but there was a smile on her face. She walked over and held Song Wuyo's hand and said, Song Wuyo, you have to be happy. Replace me and be happy together, okay? After saying that, she let go of Song Wuyo and went back to her room. Song Wuyo was slightly stunned, and her heart clenched. She looked up and saw Gu Yanhao walking down the stairs step by step like a god. When he saw them, he raised his eyebrows. His gaze fell on Song Wuyo. You're still awake. I just lay down and heard your roar, Song Wuyo said. Did I scare you? Gu Yanhao looked at Song Wuyo with a gentle gaze. Huang Ling wants to jump off the building. Migu asked. Song Wuyo was shocked when she heard that. Her expression changed slightly, and she looked at Gu Yanhao anxiously. Is that so? Gu Yanhao shook his head. No, she just wants to try. I'm not worried about her. When Migu heard that, a strange light flashed across his eyes. Song Wuyo looked up at Gu Yanhao. Have you communicated with her? Gu Yanhao stood in front of Song Wuyo. He stood on the stairs and felt that the woman in front of him was extremely petite. He looked up and stroked her black hair. It was soft and smooth, like high-quality silk. His eyes were filled with endless gentleness and affection. Song Wuyo looked up and met his gaze. Yes, she will slowly think it through, Gu Yanhao said in a deep voice. After Song Wuyo heard this, her heart, which had been hanging in the air, finally relaxed. She seemed to be in a good mood. Let's go back to the house and rest. Gu Yanhao said and took her hand. The man raised his eyebrows slightly. Why is your hand so cold? It's cold at night, Song Wuyo said. Gu Yanhao looked at her reproachfully. You're not a child anymore. You need to wear more clothes if you're cold. Migu stood there and watched their figures disappear into the corridor. How could Huang Ling interfere when their hearts were connected and they loved each other? He returned to his room. Gu Yanhao told Song Wuyo what he had said to Huang Ling on the rooftop. After Song Wuyo heard this, she was shocked. Huang Ling was really a kind girl. Gu Yanhao looked at Song Wuyo coldly and said in a sour tone, I've already told Huang Ling that I love Imperial Concubine Song. Don't push me to her side in the future. I don't care if you love Dongfang Xian or not. The person by your side now is Gu Yanhao. You're my wife. You have to be responsible for me, your husband. Please hide your love for that guy in the bottom of your heart. Don't tell me. I'll be angry and hate him. If there's a chance, I'll kill him. When Song Woo heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. She threw herself into his arms and wrapped her arms around his strong waist. I don't think about him. I only think about you. I'll be responsible for you, okay? I've been sad for half a month. I've been sad for half a month. I've been hungry for half a month. You should be responsible for me. Gu Yanhao placed his hand on her thigh and pinched it gently. Song Woo chuckled as a wave of sourness hit her. No. Seeing that his hand was about to move up, Song Woo quickly stopped him. She looked up and smiled at him. We can't for the time being. Gu Yanhao looked at her coldly. Aren't you going to be responsible for me? His eyes were full of lust and dissatisfaction. Couldn't she see it? Chapter 603. Song Woo wanted to tease him. She left his arms and moved towards the bed. I will be responsible for you. Let's do it another day. I'm very tired today. You don't want me to faint while doing it, right? Song Woo got under the blanket and winked at Gu Yanhao. If I faint, you won't feel good doing it, right? Gu Yanhao stared at her sadly and then got under the blanket. I'm puzzled. Why am I being controlled by you? Sigh, you haven't taken a shower yet. I don't want to take a shower. Let's get dirty for the night. Why are you putting your hand on me? It's comfortable to hold it when you sleep. Hooligan. I can be more hooligan. Magoo carried 2 bottles of Immerse to Huang Ling's room. The light from inside shone through the gap of the door. Magoo knew that the person inside was still awake. He leaned against the wall. His posture was lazy, but he didn't lose his elegance. Raising his hand, he bent his well-defined fingers and gently knocked on the door with the back of his fingers. Huang Ling thought it was Song Woo. She opened the door and saw Magoo. She was stunned. Why are you looking for me? Magoo waved the bottle in his hand. To drink with you. Huang Ling's face darkened. You're a man looking for a woman to drink in the middle of the night. Are you trying to do something to her? Magoo smiled gently. This is my house. If I want to do something to you, I can do it directly. Why should I waste my Immerse? Huang Ling said coldly. I don't drink. You used to drink. That's the past. Now is the present. I'm Huang Ling now. I want to tell you a story. Huang Ling snorted. Now, what other stories are more exciting than my own experience? Magoo looked at Huang Ling seriously. Mine. When Huang Ling heard this, she wanted to laugh. Although the Mu family has declined, you have the ability to enter the rich and magnificent list every year. What kind of interesting story do you have? Woman, are you willing to drink with me? If she didn't want to, just say it. What was the point of talking so much? I'm afraid I won't have sex after drinking. I'm afraid that I'll mess up after drinking, okay? Huang Ling glared at Magoo. Do you want to drink in your room or in my room? Magoo smiled. Let's drink on the rooftop. Huang Ling said snappily, wait a minute, I'll put on a jacket. She didn't want to be exposed to the cold night wind. Magoo looked at her with interest. This woman had always been so rude in front of any man. She was only gentle in front of Ah Ho. When they arrived at the rooftop, Magoo and Huang Ling sat on the floor. There were cushions on the floor, and when they sat down, their buttocks were not cold. In front of them, there was an oil lamp. The transparent lampshade covered the flame and blocked the wind for it, allowing it to burn. Magoo even brought the barbecued meat for them to drink and eat at the same time. But under the lampshade, his face looked very serious. Huang Ling looked at him and asked curiously, "Did you fall out of love?" Magoo pursed his lips. "You can say so." Huang Ling thought hard and mumbled softly, "If I remember correctly, you should be gay." When Magoo heard this, he wanted to smash a piece of mutton on her face. "You are the gay. I have loved a woman for 1,000 years. Huang Ling looked at him in surprise and then looked at the bottle of alcohol in front of him. "You didn't drink much. How did you get drunk so quickly?" "I'm not drunk. I'm very sober." Magoo's voice sounded weary. Chapter 604. Huang Ling pursed her lips. Drunk people always say this, just like how mentally ill people always say that they're not sick. Magoo's mouth twitched when he heard that. He really wasn't drunk. Magoo looked at Huang Ling. "Do you know where Wu Yu came from?" When Huang Ling heard this, she nodded blankly. "I know. Do you want to hear about her story?" "I know. She's like me. Her soul transmigrated and formed a complicated relationship." "Not these." Huang Ling looked down. "I only know these. Ah Ho and I were from the Axe dynasty in our previous lives." Huang Ling's eyes widened when she heard that. She looked at Magoo in surprise. She thought that Magoo was joking with her. However, when she saw his serious expression with a tinge of sadness, she felt that he wasn't joking with her. What made Huang Ling even more surprised was that Gu Yanhao was also from the Axe dynasty in his previous life. Magoo tilted his head and looked at Huang Ling with interest. "Do you want to hear it?" Huang Ling rolled her eyes at him. "I've already followed you here. Do you think I don't want to hear it? Since you're so sincere, I'll tell you. Wu Yu, Ah Ho and I were from the Axe dynasty. The wind in the winter night was whistling. The moonlight was quite beautiful in the first half of the night. When it reached the second half of the night, it was pitch black everywhere. The moon seemed to have gone back to sleep. When she looked up, the entire sky was as dark as the bottom of a pot. Time seemed to have passed by half a century. No, it seemed to have passed by 1,000 years. Huang Ling was in a trance, as if she was also in a transmigration tunnel. She sat there with her hands hugging her knees, looking quietly at the oil lamp in front of her. Under the dim light, her face looked very pale. After that story was finished, Magoo did not say anything else. There he drank the wine and ate the meat, one mouthful after another. From time to time, he would let out a sigh. Sigh. Huang Ling also sighed with him. She picked up the wine next to her and took a sip. The wine was very spicy. It was so spicy that she frowned and scrunched up her little face. "I thought I was pitiful, but it turns out you're even more pitiful than me." Huang Ling turned her head and looked at Magoo sympathetically. She had only loved Gu Yanhao for 8 years, but this man loved a woman so much that he could travel through time and space. After going through a painful reincarnation cycle, in the end, he still didn't get together with the woman he loved. He even had to watch her get together with his good friend. "No." Magoo smiled and said, "It's impossible for me. This is my choice. If I die, I won't drink Meng Po's soup." He looked at Huang Ling and said in a choked voice, "I'm not pitiful. You're not pitiful either. The pitiful one is Noble Consort Song. You only loved Ah Ho for 8 years, but she used 8 years of her youth to conquer half of the country for Ah Ho. Her body was full of scars. After building a prosperous palace, she was just a concubine. A concubine who was abandoned in the cold palace. You can't imagine or understand her 3 years of painful life in the cold palace. Deep in the palace, it's a dark world full of infighting. So, everything is really destined." Huang Ling sighed. So, Ah Ho has to atone for his sins in this life and pay back what he owed Wuyo. Magoo looked at Huang Ling deeply. Do you think that Ah Ho is still the Ah Ho of the past? Huang Ling looked at Magoo in confusion. After a long time, she was shocked by her own thoughts. Her eyes widened as she looked at Magoo in astonishment. You mean? Chapter 605. Magoo nodded his head. Huang Ling was shocked. Her mouth was agape as she felt that it was too unbelievable. She needed to drink to calm herself down. She downed a few mouthfuls of wine before her heart slowly calmed down. Ah Ho didn't say it, but I knew. He was seriously injured in the highway explosion. Wuyo fell asleep beside him. I stood in front of the bed and heard him talking in his sleep. At that time, he was in pain and his face was full of pain. I knew it. At that time, he seemed to have changed into a different person. After Huang Ling calmed down, she suddenly became cheerful. They were fated to continue their previous lives. Their past lives and present lives were so deeply intertwined that she and Magoo couldn't affect their feelings. Huang Ling sighed deeply. Sigh, you guys are so lucky. You all know your past lives. I must have been a pig in my past life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so stupid. Magoo smiled ambiguously. Maybe you were a queen in your past life. When Huang Ling heard that, she exclaimed, "Ah, I don't want to. I don't want to be the mistress who broke up other people's childhood sweethearts. Don't care who you were in your past life. So what if you were a pig? Just live well in this life." Magoo picked up a piece of barbecued meat for Huang Ling. Pig, eat more meat. Huang Ling took the barbecued meat and glared at Magoo. You're the pig. What about you? Are you living well in this life? Magoo smiled emotionally. I'm living well because the woman I love is very happy. But you can't have her. Loving her doesn't mean you have to have her. You think that if you lock a bird in a cage, it will be happy to have it. Actually, you're wrong. A bird flying freely is what it belongs to. Huang Ling pursed her lips and nodded as if she understood. Hearing you say that, my love for Gu Yanhao suddenly isn't so deep. What kind of love do I have for him? Compared to you, it's a world of difference. There is a kind of love called letting go. Do you understand? Huang Ling smiled. I don't understand, but I know how to sing this song. After saying that, Huang Ling even sang loudly, there is a kind of love called letting go, giving up eternity for love, la 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 la. It's out of tune. You can sing. Of course. Magoo raised his chin arrogantly and sang, if the heaven for two people is like a warm wall, imprisoning your dreams, is happiness like an iron wall, the migratory birds have lost their south. If you yearn for the sky, yearn for a pair of wings, let go and let you fly, nice. Huang Ling giggled and sang along with Magoo, if romance becomes a tie, I'm willing to choose to return to loneliness for you. If entanglement becomes a chain, throw away the promise, there's a kind of love called letting go, ending eternity for love. The more they sang, the more excited they became. When they reached the high notes, they became very passionate and shouted at the top of their lungs. That's right, they were shouting, not singing. There's a kind of love called letting go, giving up eternity for love. My departure is like letting you have everything, letting true love take me away. For you, I'll lose you. For you, I'll harden my heart and hurt you. For you, I'll leave you forever. Their singing seemed very abrupt and deafening in this silent night. Noisy. The people sleeping downstairs were woken up by their singing that sounded like pigs being slaughtered. Even the sheep in the pasture were bleating and the horses were neighing. The pasture workers who had been working for the day were so tired that they finally laid down on the bed to sleep. When they were woken up by their singing, they really wanted to come over and stuff a few mouthfuls of sheep shit. Of course, they had the intention but not the guts. Mu Axian wore thick pajamas and came up angrily. When she saw Magoo and Huang Ling each holding a piece of roasted lamb as a microphone and singing loudly, she almost fainted. Chapter 606. Here it came again. That elegant brother of hers with a high profile was going crazy again. There's a kind of love called letting go. Letting go for love will last forever. If you don't show it thoroughly, you won't be happy. No matter how deep your feelings are, only this is enough to confess. Even if you die, you still want to love. If you don't cry until you smile, you won't be happy. If you still have the heart to destroy the universe, you can love each other as if every day is the end of the world. They seemed to be getting more and more excited as they sang. Their voices were getting louder and louder. Can you guys do a good deed and stop singing? Mu Axian came up and looked at the two empty flagons speechlessly. She looked at Magoo helplessly. Brother, you're drunk again. Sister, your singing is not bad. Magoo hugged Huang Ling and praised, what other songs do you know? Huang Ling's face was flushed red and her head was a little dizzy. After being hugged by Magoo, she leaned her head on his shoulder and giggled. Xing Yu's wish. What song is this? Magoo burped. You don't know how to sing. I don't know. Then what song do you know? Magoo thought for a moment and then suddenly sang out in a loud voice, Love even at the end of the road. I won't be happy until the end of time. I'm not afraid that my love will turn into a sea of fire. Huang Ling knew how to sing this song as well. She sang along loudly, Love even in death. So noisy. Mu Axian went up and pulled them apart. Wake up and stop singing. Just because you guys aren't sleeping doesn't mean that we aren't sleeping. Aya, who are you? Magoo pushed Mu Axian away and pulled Huang Ling to his side. He warned Mu Axian with a ruffian look, Lad, go away. Don't disturb my mood. If you piss me off, I'll pluck all your feathers. Brother. When Mu Axian heard that, she was so angry that she stomped her feet. I've already said that your alcohol tolerance is bad. Don't drink. You're even plucking my feathers. Be careful that your feathers don't get plucked. Seeing him and Huang Ling hugging each other, she was worried that they would have sex after drinking. While Magoo was feeling helpless, Magoo and Huang Ling seemed to have made an agreement and said together, even if you die, you still want to love. That voice, that tone, was so high that it pierced Mushin's eardrums. Mushin hurriedly covered her ears with both hands and looked at them in defeat. Crazy, they were crazy. After singing a line, Magoo raised the microphone to Huang Ling's mouth. Kid, sing Only Mother is Good in the World. I don't know how to. Huang Ling said. The microphone touched her lips. She opened her mouth and bit it. Hey, what's this? It's so delicious. Brat, why are you biting my microphone? Give it back to me. After saying that, Magoo moved his mouth forward. It looked like he was going to kiss Huang Ling. When Mushin saw that, she hurriedly went forward and covered their faces with both hands. She glared at Magoo and said anxiously, Brother, you can't do this. He couldn't bully Huang Ling when he was drunk. Reputation was very important to a girl. Go away, you brat. Magoo pushed Mushin away. Huang Ling also helped him and pushed Mushin away. They glared at her. We are singing. Don't meddle in other people's business. When Mushin was pushed away, she stepped on a wine pot. She lost her balance and fell to the ground. "Aw. But hurts so much." Hearing Mushin's voice, Magoo glared at her. "You are very noisy. Get lost." "Brother." "Mushin." Ban Jianing suddenly rushed over and helped her up. He looked nervous and said in a childlike tone, "Why are you sitting on the ground?" Chapter 607. I pushed her. Magoo acted like a boss as he pointed at himself arrogantly. Ban Jianing was angry and shouted at Magoo. "Why did you push Mushin? Don't disturb my singing. If you don't get lost, I will pluck your chicken feathers." "What are chicken feathers?" Ban Jianing was puzzled. Magoo staggered forward and stretched out his hand towards Ban Jianing's thighs. Ban Jianing reacted quickly and pulled Mushin back. He stared at Magoo angrily. "How can you do this? What does this have to do with you?" Magoo stretched out his hand towards Ban Jianing again. "Magoo, you are so annoying." Ban Jianing let go of Mushin. This time, he was not prepared. He pounced on Magoo and knocked him down. Magoo was lying on the ground. Ban Jianing rode on Magoo's body like a wooden horse. Then, he plucked Magoo's hair one by one and said angrily, "Pluck your feathers. Since you like plucking your feathers so much, I will pluck your feathers too." Plucking Magoo's hair was not enough. Ban Jianing grabbed Magoo's crotch. He grabbed Magoo's virginity through his crotch. Magoo felt pain and shivered. He gasped and stared at Ban Jianing with his eyes wide open. Ban Jianing had a victorious expression and looked at Magoo happily. He even laughed. "You can't catch me, but I caught you." Huang Ling stared at Ban Jianing and then looked at Magoo. Then, she looked at Ban Jianing's hand that was grabbing Magoo's crotch. What were they doing? "Ban Jianing, let go of your hand." Mushin came over and saw their posture. She really wanted to cover her face. This was so embarrassing. Ban Jianing was grabbing her brother's crotch. If he was crippled, could the Mu family still rely on him to carry on the family line? Could his surname still be Fu? Ban Jianing pouted and looked at Mu Axian. Under the light, his face was handsome and cute. "Mu Axian, he pushed you. I'm taking revenge for you." All right. Jianing, be good. I don't want you to take revenge." Seeing that he wasn't letting go, Mu Axian was a little worried that Ban Jianing would act recklessly. However, Magoo didn't push him away. He just stared at Ban Jianing with bloodshot eyes. Suddenly, even at the end of the road, I still want to love. I won't be happy until the end of time. Huang Ling suddenly leaned over and whispered into Ban Jianing's ear, singing loudly. The first line of the song was already frighteningly high-pitched. With Huang Ling deliberately raising the pitch, it sounded even more high-pitched. There was a kind of hysterical and heart-wrenching roar. "Aw, aw, aw, aw." Ban Jianing looked frightened. He suddenly let go of the hand on Magoo's crotch and pulled Huang Ling away. He even screamed. He got up and glared at Huang Ling, "Crazy woman. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Huang Ling saw Ban Jianing suddenly bouncing off Magoo's body and laughed happily. Gu Yanhao and Song Wuyo had also come up long ago. Before Ban Jianing appeared, they had been watching Magoo and Huang Ling go crazy at the stairs. When they saw Ban Jianing riding on Magoo's body, Song Wuyo couldn't help but laugh. Magoo drank. She really didn't dare to compliment him. "You go and help Magoo down. Mu Axian and I will help Huang Ling. Be careful that they don't catch a cold," Song Wuyo said. "Okay." Gu Yanhao responded. He came over and pulled Magoo up. "Enough. Don't be crazy." Magoo was carried by Gu Yanhao and dragged downstairs. Little handsome, what's your surname? Magoo raised his head and pinched Gu Yanhao's firm chin. He said teasingly, warm my bed tonight, okay? Chapter 608. Drunk people are very heavy, and Magoo is so tall and strong. Gu Yanhao is supporting him. He is so heavy. After being teased by him like this, Gu Yanhao really wanted to let go of him and smash him flat. I am not as hardcore as you. Even men are not spared. What a hot little handsome guy. I like it. Magoo laughed. Go back to your room. Gu Yanhao almost dragged Magoo down the stairs. Huang Ling is very skinny when she is in a vegetative state. She is not heavy. Song Wuyo and Muxin helped her down the stairs. Huang Ling looked left and right, and then she said while struggling, why are you grabbing me? I did not commit any crime. Hurry up and unlock the handcuffs. We are helping you back to your room to rest. We are not grabbing you, and we did not put handcuffs on you. Song Wuyo did not know whether to laugh or cry. I am not done with my song. I don't want to rest. If you want to sing, let's go to the karaoke another day, okay? It is very late now. Everyone needs to rest. After putting Huang Ling on the bed, Song Wuyo saw Huang Ling was still wearing today's clothes. She stood there and hesitated for a while. Forget it. The weather is so cold. It will be fine if she does not shower for a night. She came over and wanted to take off Huang Ling's coat. When she was unbuttoning her coat, Huang Ling suddenly opened her eyes and looked at Song Wuyo. Hooligan, you want to force yourself on me? I will help you take off your coat and cover you with the blanket. You will sleep more comfortably. I am very comfortable. I don't need you to make me comfortable. I am warning you. If you dare to force yourself on me, I will crush your balls. I don't have balls for you to crush. Song Wuyo laughed and forcibly helped Huang Ling take off her coat. Then she pushed her into the bed and covered her with the blanket. She patted Huang Ling's shoulder gently, as if she was an elder sister talking to her younger sister. Be good, don't make a fuss, and don't kick the quilt. You'll catch a cold. Mom. Huang Ling sniffled, blinked, and looked at Song Wuyo. Song Wuyo smiled and said, you can call me sister, don't call me mother. Oh, sister. You're so obedient. I'm going back to sleep. You sleep well. She even took out the part where she coaxed Ban Jining. Okay. Huang Ling quickly pulled the blanket over her head. Are you comfortable sleeping like this? Song Wuyo stood in front of the bed and looked at her. Huang Ling said, I like to sleep with my face covered. I'll turn off the lights for you. Song Wuyo turned off the main light and left the bedside lamp on. After hearing the door close, Huang Ling pulled down the quilt. Her eyes were already filled with tears. Help me take a bath, beauty. Gu Yanhao put Magoo back on the bed. Magoo actually held his hand and did not let him go back. Don't make a fuss. Gu Yanhao took away Magoo's hand and said coldly, don't pretend to be crazy in front of me. It wasn't the first day he met Magoo. Not to mention him and Huang Ling, even if he drank 2 pots of hummus, he wouldn't get drunk. How could Gu Yanhao not know Magoo's good intentions? Warm the bed with me. Magoo sat up and wanted to grab Gu Yanhao's hand. Gu Yanhao quickly avoided and looked at him lightly. Go in and take a bath. After that, Gu Yanhao turned and went out, closing the door. Magoo looked at the closed door in a drunken stupor. His playful eyes gradually turned dim and sorrowful. He sat there in a daze, and a complicated expression slowly appeared on his face. After a long time, he suddenly smiled. For her, he could do anything. The next day, everyone woke up very late. Chapter 609. Other than Gu Yanhao and Migu, Muaxian, Huang Ling, and Song Wuyo all had dark circles under their eyes. As for Migu and Huang Ling's drunken tantrum last night, no one mentioned a single word. It was as if nothing had happened. What was there to talk about? Migu did not kiss Huang Ling. And they did not have sex after drinking. They just went crazy. They ate breakfast together. Song Wuyo, who originally liked to eat boiled eggs, suddenly felt nauseous when she took a bite. She stopped eating and then ate other dishes. She realized that the taste of every dish had changed. Even the taste of the fruits seemed to have changed. After eating some reluctantly, everyone went out to play. Gu Yanhao and Migu went for an archery competition. Ban Jianing circled around Muaxian and was very happy. Song Wuyo went in after eating breakfast and her stomach felt uncomfortable. She did not want to go out to play for the time being. Lying on the sofa, her chest felt stuffy. When she went to the bathroom, she could not help but vomit when she smelled the stench. This was the first time she had vomited since she was pregnant. This body's physique was poor and weak. She vomited early and got tired easily. Huang Ling stood at the door of the bathroom and quietly watched her vomit. When she finished vomiting and washed her face, Huang Ling looked at her and asked, "You're pregnant?" Song Wuyo was slightly stunned. Then, she nodded and looked at Huang Ling calmly. "It's been more than 2 months." Huang Ling smiled and said, "Congratulations." Song Wuyo smiled. "Thank you." Huang Ling's gaze fell on Song Wuyo's lower abdomen. A hint of tenderness flashed past her eyes. "You have to be very careful in the first 3 months." "Okay." Huang Ling, if I remember correctly, she had a miscarriage. Song Wuyo, yes, because of the miscarriage, her physique has not been very good. Huang Ling, all the more reason to be careful. Stepping forward, Huang Ling took the initiative to hold on to Song Wuyo's hand and smiled. "Can I be the child's godmother?" Song Wuyo smiled gently. "Of course." Huang Ling looked at Song Wuyo's face. "Wuyo, I know." Song Wuyo blinked and looked at Huang Ling with a smile. "Know what? Ah-ho is no longer the ah-ho of the past. He loves you so much. I know that he is Dongfang Xian." Song Wuyo was stunned. "Migu told you?" Huang Ling nodded. "Yes." A complicated look flashed through Song Wuyo's eyes as all sorts of feelings welled up in her heart. Huang Ling smiled. "Wuyo, let's be good friends, okay?" Song Wuyo smiled happily. "Of course. I couldn't ask for more." Gu Yanhao and Song Wuyo stayed at the ranch for 2 nights before returning to M City. Huang Ling wanted to forget the feelings in her heart. She asked Gu Yanhao to buy her an apartment and planned to live with her mother, Ms. Liu. Gu Yanhao bought her a 150 square meter condominium in a high-end neighborhood. It was fully furnished. The property was in Huang Ling's name. Gu Yanhao wanted to give her 10 million yuan first and give her the rest after she had spent all the money. But Huang Ling only took 500,000 yuan. She said that she wanted to find a job and be self-reliant. In the future, she would rely on this salary to bring a comfortable life to her mother. Gu Yanhao was very gratified that Huang Ling suddenly became sensible. Today, Huang Ling planned to officially move to the new house. There was nothing much to move, just a few sets of clothes to change into. Huang Ling came downstairs with a suitcase. She heard Gu Yanhao instructing Sister Song to make Song Wuyo some barley and black chicken soup. "Gu Yanhao, pregnant women can't eat barley. Don't you know?" Huang Ling walked down quickly and looked at Gu Yanhao reproachfully. Are you trying to harm Wuyo? Chapter 610. Gu Yanhao raised his eyebrows and looked at Huang Ling in surprise. Wu Yu is pregnant. This time, it was Huang Ling's turn to be surprised. You didn't know that Wu Yu was pregnant? Gu Yanhao suppressed the joy in his heart and looked at Huang Ling. How did you know? Huang Ling, at Migu's place. She told me personally. Suddenly, Gu Yanhao looked up and saw the figure on the stairs. Song Wuyo was holding a limited edition Chanel bag. There were valuable jewelry in the box. She wanted to give these to Huang Ling. Suddenly, she met Gu Yanhao's surprised gaze and stopped. Is it true? Gu Yanhao tried hard to suppress the excitement in his heart. What? You're pregnant? Song Wuyo smiled sweetly. Yes. When Gu Yanhao heard this, he rushed forward and held Song Wuyo's hand excitedly. He looked at her in disbelief. Are you really pregnant? How can I lie about such things? If you don't believe me, you'll know in a few months. I believe you, I believe you. Gu Yanhao was extremely excited. He held Song Wuyo's hand tightly. Gu Yanhao hugged Song Wuyo in his arms. He was excited and happy like a child. Huang Ling looked at them and happened to meet Song Wuyo's eyes. Song Wuyo smiled gently at her. Huang Ling's heart, which had just shattered, instantly recovered when she saw Song Wuyo smile. Seeing how excited Gu Yanhao was because Song Wuyo was pregnant, Huang Ling remembered that she had been pregnant before. At that time, he had forced her to abort the child. She had always thought that he had aborted the child because he didn't love it. Song Wuyo told her that it was not that he didn't love the child. It was just that when she was pregnant, she drank a lot of alcohol and took Western medicine. Seeing that the couple was so happy, Huang Ling also felt gratified. Song Wuyo was found and she was back. This news spread quickly in M City. When Song Wuyo returned to the Song Group, the employees of the Song Group celebrated her return. In the lobby of the Song Group, Song Wuyo was still surrounded by the media. Song Wuyo held a press conference in the lobby. Facing the questions of the reporters, she answered them one by one. Qing Junhua and Qing Jianping, who were sitting in front of the TV, didn't look too happy when they saw her smiling face. This woman is really lucky, Qing Jianping said while gnashing his teeth. Guizhu was dead, why wasn't she? Qing Junhua's cold eyes stared at the screen. His plan was foolproof. In the end, he did not let her die. Was this woman really protected by the heavens? Although that video was taken 15 years ago, the older generation said that the person who killed Ban Dekhang with a knife was your uncle. Qing Jianping was worried. I don't know if this matter will affect your position as president. If Qing Jianqing was kicked out of office and the presidential election was held, then the whole country's people would lean towards Gu Yanhao. Qing Junhua's face was very gloomy. He couldn't find the IP address that uploaded the video, so he couldn't find out who the person was. But Qing Jianqing told him that the person had called him and said that he had caused the death of the woman he loved. That was why he uploaded the video. Caused the death of the woman he loved, just now, it was after the yacht exploded. Qing Junhua gritted his teeth. Besides Gu Yanhao, who else could it be? 15 years ago, Gu Yanhao was still a young man. Of course, he wasn't the one who took the video. A murderous look flashed past Qing Junhua's eyes. The culprit of the video was his grandfather, Gu Ming. This damned old man. Chapter 611. Song Wuyo sat cross-legged on the bed, deep in thought. Her expression was quite serious. Gu Yanhao came back from the study and saw her sitting cross-legged in her pajamas. He teased, meditating. Song Wuyo looked up, a hint of worry flashing across her beautiful eyes. She looked at Gu Yanhao and asked, "That video, were you the one who posted it?" Gu Yanhao looked confused. "What video?" "I saw it. 15 years ago, Ban Dekhang was stabbed to death in front of the window. And many of the comments below said that Qing Jinxin did it. But after that, Qing Jinxin publicly said that it was not him. If anyone dared to spread rumors, he would not be polite to them. He even vowed to investigate the matter and give everyone an explanation." Song Wuyo was not a fool. Of course, she knew that this video had angered Qing Jinxin. If Gu Yanhao was the one who posted the video, wouldn't he be targeted by the president? Gu Yanhao tapped her forehead and asked with a smile, "You think I posted it?" Song Wuyo looked at him. "Besides you, who else could it be?" "Why do you think so?" Gu Yanhao looked at Song Wuyo with interest. "You only told me, right?" Gu Yanhao did not want her to worry. She was pregnant now. "No." He looked serious. After a pause, he said, "You said it yourself. That video was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was not so powerful." Song Wuyo was a little sad. "So, Ban Dekhang died so tragically." Gu Yanhao patted her head. "Believe me, one day, President Ban's case will be cleared. I knew that the Ban family was killed, but I did not expect the scene to be so bloody. If Qing Jinxin really did it, then he is too cruel. Wuyo, you're getting more and more used to life in this era." Song Wuyo was slightly stunned, but she quickly understood the meaning of Gu Yanhao's words. She rolled her eyes at him. "I've seen a lot of bloody scenes, but that man is Jianning's father." Song Wuyo raised her head and took Gu Yanhao's hand. She looked at him and said, "I'm worried about you. It's fine if you didn't upload the video. If it was you, Qing Jinxin wouldn't let you off." Gu Yanhao smiled dotingly. "Is your husband such a stupid person?" "Song Wuyo, are you that smart?" Gu Yanhao, "As long as I'm smarter than you." "Wuyo, I told Grandpa that you're pregnant. He's very happy. But he's in Australia. If he's in M City, we'll bring him to the manor." 2 months ago, old Master Goose said that he was going to Australia. He said that the air there was good and he wanted to stay there for a period of time to treat his throat inflammation. Gu Yanhao was a filial son. As long as Grandpa liked him, it didn't matter where he lived. When he heard that you're pregnant, he couldn't wait to fly back to M City. His friend's grandson is getting married next month. He'll come back after attending the wedding. Song Wuyo smiled and said, "I miss him very much." Huang Ling was woken up by the doorbell. She was grumpy when she woke up, so she opened the door with disheveled hair. "Who is it? Don't you need to sleep?" Her tone was quite bad and she wanted to scold someone. "You'll know who I am when you open your eyes." When Huang Ling heard the voice, she was shocked. She opened her eyes and without saying anything, she turned around and rushed into the bedroom as fast as she could. Song Wuyo looked at her and found it hilarious. She came in. Chapter 612. This apartment was exquisitely decorated, simple, and modern. It was warm and comfortable. About 10 minutes later, Huang Ling came out of the bedroom. Song Wuyo was already sitting in the living room, drinking water without hesitation. "Am I dreaming?" Huang Ling looked at Song Wuyo, a little confused. "You're awake." Song Wuyo put down the cup and looked at Huang Ling. To be honest, Huang Ling's clothes were really not that good. The clothes she was wearing now were a red shirt and a blue skirt. Who bought you these clothes? Song Wuyo asked. She didn't believe that Gu Yanhao bought them for her when she was in a city for more than 10 days. Gu Yanhao's taste would not be so bad. I bought them. Yesterday, she moved here from Gu Yanhao's manor. She wanted to familiarize herself with the neighborhood, so she went to a nearby shopping mall to buy them. Huang Ling, this set of clothes is suitable for Auntie. Auntie? Your mother, Lu Fengfeng. Isn't she, almost 50? She had such bad taste. This set of clothes is suitable for Auntie's age. Oh my god. Song Wuyo face-bombed. I'm free today. I'll accompany you to buy clothes. Huang Ling looked down at herself. I think it's good. Believe me, this kind of clothes really don't suit you. You're only in your 20s. You should wear clothes that look young, not old clothes. Oh, you came today to accompany me to buy clothes. No, how did you know I bought this set of clothes yesterday? I came to accompany you to pick up Auntie, and then I want to go shopping with you. Song Wuyo got up and walked directly to Huang Ling's bedroom. I'll help you choose a beautiful set of clothes. Huang Ling followed him in. I just think that you look classy and stand out from the crowd like a crane in a flock of chickens. I want to be like you. Silly girl, you don't have to wear fancy clothes to attract attention. Huang Ling smiled awkwardly. To be honest, I'm really not good at matching clothes. Song Wuyo nodded sincerely. I know. The effect of that combination is simply too horrible to look at. Is it that exaggerated? I'm telling the truth. The way you're dressed. Song Wuyo stood in front of the wardrobe and turned around to look at Huang Ling. You look like an old lady. What the hell is an old aunt? Old virgin. Mrs. Gu, do you think I won't throw you out? Song Wuyo took out an off-shoulder white dress from the wardrobe. This one. Okay. Huang Ling smiled, took the dress, and went into the changing room. In less than 5 minutes, Huang Ling came out of the changing room. Huang Ling's skin was very white. She looked even fairer in the white dress. She was wearing a strapless shirt with a girdle around her waist and a knee-length shirt. Her short hair was neatly combed. Her dress was pure and youthful. Song Wuyo looked at her with great satisfaction. It's a waste that you don't wear beautiful clothes with such a good figure. Do I really look good? Huang Ling looked at herself in the mirror just now. She also felt good. She looked at Song Wuyo with a smile. Yes. You have to believe in my taste. That's right. You were the design director of the Gu clan before you joined the Song Enterprise. Now you are the president of the Song Enterprise, and you also draw design drafts for the Gu clan. How can I not believe in your taste? Dress like this in the future. Okay. You don't look like an old virgin. Let's pick up Auntie and have morning tea together. Then we can go shopping. Song Wuyo said. Chapter 613. Okay. I'll go to the washroom first. Song Wuyo got up and said, I don't know if it's a psychological effect, but ever since I found out that I was pregnant, I've been going to the washroom frequently. Huang Ling's eyes lit up when she heard that. I heard that those who urinate a lot will give birth to a son. Song Wuyo chuckled when she heard that. That works too. There was no basis for that at all, okay? After Song Wuyo went to the washroom, Huang Ling's happy smile slowly turned into sadness. Song Wuyo was so blessed. Just then, Song Wuyo's cell phone rang. Huang Ling looked at the bag on the sofa. It should be Gu Yanhao who called her, right? Huang Ling smiled bitterly. Gu Yanhao had never taken the initiative to call her. It was always her who called him, and he would tell her in an impatient tone. He didn't know how disappointed she was every time she hung up the phone. When Song Wuyo came out, her phone stopped ringing. Huang Ling said to her, "Your phone rang just now." Song Wuyo smiled and took out her phone from her bag. When she saw the caller ID, her eyes flashed with sweetness. She called back. "Yeah, I'm here. Aude is the chauffeur. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a 3-year-old child." "Ah ho, you're becoming more and more like Mom." Mom liked to nag in front of children because she loved them and was worried about them. Huang Ling listened quietly at the side. Although she couldn't hear what Gu Yanhao was saying, she knew from Song Wuyo's words that Gu Yanhao was very worried about her and cared about her. Although she said that she wanted to let go, Huang Ling still felt bad. After liking someone for so long and suddenly not being hers, no one would feel good. But she didn't want him to be sad. For his happiness, she would sincerely wish him well. And then leave him. Beep beep. On the coffee table, her cell phone rang. Huang Ling watched the screen light up and picked up the phone. It was a WeChat message. It was a voice message from Migu. When they were at the ranch, she and Migu had added each other on WeChat. It was Migu who took the initiative to ask for her WeChat. Huang Ling glanced at Song Wuyo and saw that she was still on the phone with Gu Yanhao. She went to the door and listened to the voice message from Migu. "I heard that you moved to a new house. Are you used to the new environment? How is the environment of the new house? Take a picture and show it to me." Migu's voice was very pleasant to the ears. It was low and deep, and when she listened to it, she felt as if someone was gently stroking her heartstrings. "Why should I take pictures for you? Are we close?" Huang Ling put the phone close to her mouth, said a few words, and then sent it. Soon, the other party replied to her. "We almost had sex after drinking, and we even hugged and sang together. How are we not close? Then how can we be considered close, huh?" The last word, huh, seemed to be magical and magnetic. When Huang Ling heard it, her heart inexplicably skipped a beat. But, she blushed and said to the phone in a very bad tone. "Almost didn't, right? I need to go out. It's urgent. That's all. Stay away from me. Don't disturb me." Song Wuyo hung up the phone and heard Huang Ling talking loudly with a red face. She asked worriedly. "Who was it?" "Migu, that fellow." Huang Ling blurted out. After she said it, she realized that she had let it slip. She quickly looked at Song Wuyo. When she saw that Song Wuyo did not have much of an expression, she secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Migu is quite passionate. Don't be fierce to him. Keep this friend for future use. What use? Huang Ling did not think much of it. She did not care about other men. In this aspect, she was very arrogant. It's useful when eating fresh mutton and drinking authentic hummus. Foodie. Chapter 614. Song Wuyo put her phone back into her bag and picked up her bag. "Let's go." It was quite a distance from here to Huang Ling's previous home. They chatted as they went downstairs. Huang Ling's face was bitter. "Wuyo, I'm so pitiful. You have my previous memories, but why can't I have Huang Ling's previous memories? I don't even know what friends and relatives Huang Ling had in the past. I even forgot all about my interactions with her mother." Song Wuyo comforted her. "No matter who it is, don't you have a memory? If you have any relatives or friends, you can ask me another day. It doesn't matter if you don't remember the interactions between mother and daughter. From now on, you just have to make me happy." That's true. Huang Ling pursed her lips. When you come here in the future, you'll get to know the neighbors here and slowly make new friends. It sounds pretty good. A new environment, a new mood. Downstairs, Aude drove a Ferrari sports car. After they got into the Ferrari sports car, the car drove to Huang Ling's previous home. During the 7 months when Huang Ling was in a vegetative state, her mother spent all her savings to treat her. She didn't have the money to live in a good house, so she lived in an old residential area. The environment was very bad, and the security nearby was very bad. The alley was very narrow, and there were no street lights at night. The garbage in this residential area was thrown everywhere. Even if there were people cleaning it every day, they were not good people and still threw it everywhere. It was very messy. Moreover, most of the people who lived here were people with very low incomes or people who worked at construction sites. There was a security booth at the entrance of the residential area, but it was useless. The security booth was covered with advertisements for rent. The old ones were torn and new ones were pasted on. It was a little scary. When Song Wuyo's car appeared, it instantly attracted the attention of passers-by. This residential area was not big, and there was a piece of land nearby that had not been developed. It was said that the government was preparing to take back this residential area and bid with that piece of land. However, the undeveloped piece of land was like a garbage factory. Who knew how much garbage had been thrown away? Moreover, it was far from the city and belonged to a remote area. It was rare for such a car to appear in the slums. The alley was very small, and there were friction cars, bicycles, and other things parked on both sides. Aude had no choice but to park the car by the roadside at the entrance of the residential area, next to the security booth. After the car was parked, a lot of people surrounded them before they even got out. Song Wuyo and Huang Ling got out of the car one after another. Ah, isn't that Huang Ling? Wasn't she in a vegetative state? Not yet. I heard from her mother that she woke up. This child is so lucky. She woke up and even hooked up with a rich man. Look at the dress she's wearing. It's so pretty. The people in the neighborhood were talking about Huang Ling. Huang Ling's mother lived here, but Huang Ling rarely stayed here. However, she used to come back whenever she had time to accompany Lu Fengfeng around the neighborhood. Moreover, Huang Ling was pretty. The people who had lived in the neighborhood for a long time were no stranger to Huang Ling. Especially when she jumped off a building for love and didn't die and become a vegetative state. It could be said that it had become a topic of conversation in the neighborhood. Some mothers even taught their daughters who were entering puberty, don't be silly and be deceived by men. Don't jump off a building like Huang Ling. If you become a vegetative state, I won't take care of you like her mother. I'll directly cremate you. Facing the discussions of the people in the neighborhood, Huang Ling could only smile helplessly. She didn't have the memories of the original owner. She didn't know who they were at all. Chapter 6:15. Aude led the way in front. From the looks of it, he was more familiar with the environment than Huang Ling. Song Wuyo and Huang Ling walked side by side behind Aude. When Huang Ling woke up, Aude brought her back to the manor. Lu Fengfeng did not follow them to the manor. Huang Ling's lack of recognition of her was a huge blow to her. Her only daughter, her only relative, did not acknowledge her and did not contact her even after moving to that rich family. She was sad and upset. Lu Fengfeng cried at home for as long as Huang Ling arrived at the manor. She had no idea that Huang Ling would come today. When she heard the knock and went to open the door and saw them, there was a buzzing sound in her head and her whole body froze. Her red and swollen eyes and haggard expression made Huang Ling feel a little guilty. No matter what, she was her mother. You, Mom, I'm here to pick you up. Huang Ling came in and hugged Lu Fengfeng. Lu Fengfeng was stunned. Why? Huang Ling smiled and said, to bring you to enjoy a good life. Lu Fengfeng continued to be stunned. Huang Ling, are you okay? Huang Ling said, I'm fine. My body is recovering very quickly. I'm almost done with my recuperation. Mom, let's move to the new house. I have a high-end apartment in the central district of the city. We'll live there in the future. Lu Fengfeng pushed Huang Ling out of her arms and looked at Huang Ling in disbelief. What did you say? You have a high-end apartment in the city center. Yes. Huang Ling smiled and said, there's still 1,000,000 yuan in my card. Huang Ling, how did you wake up and become a rich woman? Are you really married to that man? Lu Fengfeng asked. No. Huang Ling looked shy and embarrassed. Mom, I'm not married yet. Your daughter is still a virgin. Then. Lu Fengfeng looked past Huang Ling at Song Wuyo and Ade, who were standing behind Huang Ling. Hello, Auntie. Actually, that man is my husband. Song Wuyo politely nodded and smiled at Lu Fengfeng. Seeing Song Wuyo, Lu Fengfeng's eyes flashed with amazement. This girl was very beautiful. Then when Huang Ling wakes up, Mom, let's sit down and talk. I'll tell you what happened. On the way here, she and Song Wuyo had already made up a story. Good. Huang Ling was very excited. Take a seat. I'll make tea for you. Sigh, there aren't any tea leaves. I'll go down and buy some. There's no need. Huang Ling stopped Lu Fengfeng, who was about to go out. On the way here, there was only a small convenience store at the entrance of the neighborhood. If they wanted to buy vegetables and meat, they had to go to a distant market and supermarket. They didn't know if that convenience store sold tea. Wuyo is pregnant, so it's not appropriate for her to drink tea. As for Ade, don't worry about him. Okay. Lu Fengfeng's mind was palpitating because of their sudden appearance. Mom, actually, I didn't jump off the building because of love. It was all nonsense from the people in the neighborhood. Huang Ling pulled Lu Fengfeng to sit down. Isn't that right? Your colleagues and friends all said that you did it for Zhang Dong. Am I the kind of person who would commit suicide for love? Actually, before I jumped off the building, I designed a set of clothes and sent the draft to the Gu clan group through email. That day, I was drying the quilt on the rooftop when I received a call from the Gu clan secretary. They said that they wanted to buy my version for 8,000,000 yuan and promote it to the European and American markets. They wanted to make it the season's champion. 8,000,000 yuan. I didn't even dare to think that I would earn 8,000,000 yuan when I was young. So, I got too excited and jumped around and accidentally fell off the rooftop. Chapter 6:16. When Lu Fengfeng heard this, she was completely dumbfounded. His expression was very exaggerated. His mouth and eyes were open to the maximum. Even Song Wuyo and Ade, who were sitting next to her and listening quietly, heard Huang Ling's vivid description. They couldn't help but want to laugh. Then when you woke up, you said that you didn't know Mom and that you were married? You also said a lot of strange things. Lu Fengfeng came back to her senses after a long time. Huang Ling patted her head embarrassedly. Didn't my brain get smashed? Before it got smashed, it was a phone number. When I woke up, I could only remember that phone number. Lu Fengfeng, but Mom, my brain really got smashed. During this period, I tried very hard to remember, but I could only think of you. Until now, I still can't remember our family's friends and relatives. What about Zhang Dong? Did you remember? Lu Fengfeng asked. Huang Ling's face was gloomy as she shook her head. I can't remember. If you can't remember, then forget it. Lu Fengfeng said, actually, we don't have any relatives. Auntie, it's okay if Huang Ling can't remember her past. Now, we have already paid for Huang Ling's previous clothing drafts. She spent money to buy a high-end condominium and still has some savings. Today, she is here to bring you over to live a good life. Song Wuyo looked at Lu Fengfeng with a smile. Lu Fengfeng looked at Song Wuyo and saw that she was dignified and elegant, unlike the women who lived in the neighborhood. This woman was elegant and beautiful. She was like a daughter from a scholarly family, but also like a young lady from a noble family. Lu Fengfeng was gratified. It was great that her daughter could date such a person. Okay, Lu Fengfeng said as she wiped her tears, as long as Huang Ling doesn't forget Mom can do anything. My daughter has grown up and bought a house. Of course, I have to live there. With that, Lu Fengfeng got up. I'll go pack now. Mom, you don't have to pack anything. If there's anything worth bringing, just bring it. Clothes, blankets, shoes. You don't have to bring those. If I don't bring these, where will I find clothes to change into? Huang Ling smiled and said, let's go buy it today. How much would that cost? I have savings, and I'm going to work. When Lu Fengfeng heard that, she asked, work? Then, she looked at Song Wuyo and asked, is she working at your company? Before Song Wuyo could speak, Huang Ling said, no, I work in a bar. Because of Gu Yanhao, she was going to work in a bar. The work was easy and not tiring. Huang Ling didn't know anything. She couldn't do the clerical work in the company. She couldn't do the assembly line in the factory. Bar. Lu Fengfeng's face darkened. Those places, that's in the middle of the city. The security is very good. It's a very high-class bar. It's not like what you think, Huang Ling explained. Aren't you designing clothes? Why didn't you enter? His gaze shifted to Song Wuyo. Her company. Isn't my brain muddled? I can't even hold a paintbrush now. Mom, don't worry. Huang Ling came over and hugged Song Wuyo's arm. She intimately leaned against Song Wuyo and looked at Lu Fengfeng with a smile. The job was arranged for me by Wuyo's husband. Do you know who her husband is? Lu Fengfeng looked confused and shook her head. I guess you don't know. Her husband is very powerful. He can be compared to the president. Chapter 617. When Lu Fengfeng heard that, she looked at Song Wuyo in surprise. He's that amazing. Song Wuyo smiled slightly. Huang Ling is exaggerating, but he is indeed quite amazing. Lu Fengfeng wiped her snot and tears again. It's really Huang Ling's good fortune to be able to know you guys. To be able to wake up and suddenly change her poor life. If this wasn't a blessing, what was? Huang Ling pursed her lips. What kind of blessing was this? She looked at Lu Fengfeng and thought to herself, it's your blessing to have a daughter like me. Song Wuyo only smiled and did not say anything. She looked deeply at Huang Ling. If that's the case, can I really leave here empty-handed? Lu Fengfeng was embarrassed. I don't even have a single piece of jewelry, and there's nothing worth bringing. In the past 7 months when Huang Ling was sick, I've been selling everything I have to raise money for her to see a doctor. Now, even the clothes I'm wearing are given to me by the neighbors who don't want them. When Song Wuyo heard that, she looked at Lu Fengfeng with some heartache. She was really living a poor life. Huang Ling stood up. Okay. Mom, just tell the landlord to return the house and don't want the deposit. The next tenant can have this broken furniture. Don't ask the garbage collector to come and take it away. Lu Fengfeng looked at the forthright Huang Ling and was a little stunned. Was this her daughter? Why did she feel like she was a completely different person from her words and actions? Lu Fengfeng thought that maybe her brain was damaged and her personality changed. Mom, I haven't eaten yet. Pack up the things you need to take. Let's go eat. After eating, I'll take you to see the new house, Huang Ling said. Okay. Lu Fengfeng was a little excited. I'll go in to get my phone and wallet. This was a small house with one living room and one bedroom. After Lu Fengfeng entered, Song Wuyo looked at Huang Ling. I can tell that auntie loves you very much. Huang Ling smiled. What mother doesn't love her child? Huang Ling's words reminded Song Wuyo of Mrs. Eyre. She actually wanted to sacrifice her own daughter for her own son. Although in the end, Madame Jie made her jump into the sea and caused her serious injuries. If Maupassant hadn't happened to be at the bottom of the sea at that time, would she still be alive? Lu Fengfeng quickly took the things she wanted to take away. Song Wuyo took them to a hotel for breakfast. Looking at the dazzling array of snacks on the table, Lu Fengfeng felt like she was dreaming. Prawn dumplings, water chestnut cakes, congee, rice noodle rolls, steamed dumplings, crispy fried chicken, steamed chicken feet with black bean sauce, durian crisp, desserts and so on. Can the four of us eat so much? Lu Fengfeng looked at Huang Ling and then at Song Wuyo and said when she saw that the waiter was about to deliver the food. Mom, eat as much as you can. Although there are many styles, the portion is very small. Huang Ling personally picked up a small steamed dumpling for Lu Fengfeng. Lu Fengfeng looked at Huang Ling with relief. Huang Ling, Mom feels like she's dreaming. We rely on each other for survival. We've never eaten in such a high-end hotel and ordered so many dishes. Huang Ling smiled. We're having breakfast. Mom, I'll often bring you here to eat delicious food in the future. Enjoy the rest of your life. Huang Ling didn't know what they had experienced in the past, but from Lu Fengfeng's eyes, she could see that she loved her daughter very much. Huang Ling felt that she should treat this poor woman well because she didn't give up on her in the past few months when she was in a vegetative state. Chapter 618. Lu Fengfeng was so touched by Huang Ling's words that her eyes turned red. Seeing that she was about to cry, Huang Ling said, Mom, don't do this. We've suffered before. Don't be so pretentious. Eat quickly. We still have to go shopping after eating. After saying that, Huang Ling put a chicken claw on Lu Fengfeng's white porcelain plate. Lu Fengfeng looked at the food on the plate and nodded. Okay. I have such an obedient daughter to enjoy. I'll enjoy it well in the future. I won't be pretentious. After breakfast, Song Wuyo and Huang Ling went to a large shopping mall. In the shopping mall, except for the supermarkets on the first and second floors, the third floor and above were branded clothing, shoes, and bags. They went to the sixth floor. This floor was full of cabinets from international brands. In front of one of the cabinets, Huang Ling took a fancy to a dress that suited Lu Fengfeng. Mom, let's go in and take a look. Huang Ling hugged Lu Fengfeng and entered the shop. Song Wuyo did not go in. Instead, she talked to Gu Yanhao on the phone at the door. You're not having lunch with me? Gu Yanhao asked. No, Huang Ling and I are shopping for clothes. Where's Ade? Let him be the porter. Do you understand? Got it. He has all kinds of shopping bags hanging all over his body now. He was even carrying bags of various sizes to the bathroom. Honey, I forgive you for not having lunch with me. But you have to have dinner with me. Okay, I'll go back before dinner. Sigh, what should I do? My mind is full of you. Song Woo pursed her lips. Are you very free? If you dare to be absent during work hours, I'll deduct your salary. Song Woo was talking on the phone outside. In the shop, the salesperson saw that the two people who came in had a shabby smell, so she ignored them. At this moment, two beautiful, fashionably dressed young women came in. When the shop assistant standing beside Huang Ling saw them, she immediately smiled and greeted them warmly, leaving Huang Ling to the side. The other employees also went to greet other customers, so no one came to serve them. Huang Ling had long been used to such sharp eyes. It wasn't like he hadn't been rejected before. Mom, this dress is very beautiful. Try it. Huang Ling came over and reached out to take the dress she liked. But before her hand could touch the dress, it was pushed away by a fair hand. A figure stood in front of Huang Ling and Lu Fengfeng. This woman was one of the two young women who had just come in. The woman had waist-length curly hair. She looked at Huang Ling and smiled. I'm sorry, but I've taken a fancy to this dress. Although she was smiling, her eyes did not conceal her contempt for Huang Ling and her daughter and her arrogance. Huang Ling glanced at her and said in a neutral tone, "You look very young. Does this dress suit you? I'm buying it for my future mother-in-law. It's her birthday tomorrow. I'm really sorry, but I'm buying it for my mom. Also, I saw this dress first before you came. It was just that the shop assistant here looked down on them and did not serve them." The woman looked at Huang Ling and her daughter with disdain, then turned and said to the shop assistant, "Pack it up for me." The shop assistant smiled. "Okay, Miss Fei has good taste. This is a limited edition dress that just came on the market. Your mother-in-law will definitely like it." "I want one too," Huang Ling said. The shop assistant looked at Huang Ling strangely. "There's only one. It's a limited edition. We only received 3 pieces and sold 2 last week." Chapter 619. Huang Ling said, "Then sell this dress to me. I'll come in first. This is a rich lady's dress. Can your mother afford to wear it?" The woman who was enthusiastically addressed as Miss Fei looked at Lu Fengfeng with disdain. "I don't even know what you're wearing. You're so shabby, yet you're wearing a rich lady's dress. What a joke. You don't care if my mother can afford to wear it. I'm buying this dress today." Huang Ling's personality was not soft to begin with. In the past, when she used the identity of Song Woo, she was an arrogant girl who was famous for her arrogance. She was only afraid of the Song family and Gu Yanhao. Outside, she was not afraid of anyone. Miss Fei glanced at the price tag and smiled. 46,000. Can you afford it? When Lu Fengfeng heard that the dress cost 46,000 yuan, she was so shocked that her eyes widened. "Ling, we're not buying it. It's too expensive." Lu Fengfeng held Huang Ling's hand and said softly. 46,000 yuan. She did not even have that much savings in 2 years. Such an expensive dress, is it gold-plated? This dress was indeed beautiful. It was not gilded, but there were a few dazzling small diamonds at the cuffs. Hearing Lu Fengfeng's words, the shop assistant's face immediately turned ugly. She glanced at Huang Ling and Lu Fengfeng with disdain. Then, she took the dress and turned to the cashier. She muttered, "Poor people from the slums want to wear a dress that costs tens of thousands yuan. What a joke. Why are there so many pretentious idiots in this world?" "Stop!" Huang Ling suddenly shouted. The first half of the sentence had already made her very unhappy. She even heard the second half of the sentence. Damn it! How dare she say that she was a pretentious idiot? The shop suddenly quieted down because of Huang Ling's shout. Everyone's eyes turned to Huang Ling. Lu Fengfeng was a timid woman. She was not very knowledgeable, and she knew that the poor were often bullied. She tugged at Huang Ling and said, "Huang Ling, let's not buy it here." Huang Ling took a deep look at Lu Fengfeng and said, "Mom, I must buy this limited edition dress for you today." With that, Huang Ling walked towards the shop assistant and looked at her coldly. "You're blind. I'm definitely buying this dress." When the shop assistant heard this, she glared at Huang Ling angrily. "Who are you calling blind? You're the one who's blind. I say, if you can't afford it, then don't go to the fatty. I'm not looking down on you. 40,000 is nothing to me, but to you, it's an astronomical figure. If you buy this dress today, won't you have to eat instant noodles for a year? Moreover, with your shabby temperament, you don't deserve to wear such a beautiful dress. If you buy it and wear it, you will only be laughed at." That scene is like a beautiful flower being inserted into a cow's head. It's so funny and strange. Miss Fei walked over and waved her hand at the shop assistant. Don't pay attention to these uncultured citizens who want to pretend to be rich. They can't afford this dress. How do you know that they can't afford it? A clear voice came from the door. Song Wuyo walked in gracefully with a smile on her face. She looked at them with interest. When Miss Fei saw that the person who walked in was Song Wuyo, her arrogant expression immediately changed. She suddenly went forward and tried to hook Song Wuyo's arm. Song Wuyo turned sideways and avoided her. Huang Ling frowned slightly. She saw how Miss Fei bowed to Song Wuyo. Miss Fei did not feel awkward. She smiled and said, "Mrs. Gu, I didn't expect to see you here. Look at them. They don't have money, but they still want to fight with me." You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.